And welcome everyone to the iROC iRacing Challenge Series Mini Season 1, which is a recruitment season for Season 3. This is round 1. We'll be doing 30 laps at Daytona. And I've got Brian McCann here broadcasting with us.
Good morning, everybody. Except it's not morning. It's good afternoon.
And he doesn't even know what time of day it is. But so Season 3, let's talk about that and the mini season. So the top 5 of each mini season, and there's 2 mini seasons, will qualify their way into Season 3. And we'll be racing alongside the top 15 finishers of Season 2. And we'll switch over to those. And your top 15 from Season 2 was Brian McCann, Kevin McCann, Neil Quick, Chris Wally, Mike Harper, Brandon Mefford, Tim Schofield, Jesse King, Vince Short, Chris Mefford, David Trumbley, Kyle Pendergraft, Cook Quick, Kyle Steffens, and Jarrett Widener.
Now, if you'll notice on this list here, my name is the highest, and I was technically at one point the championship winner, but there was a mix-up in the shipment of trophies, and the actual shipment went to Neil Quick for the championship trophy.
Now, has that been confirmed?
That's what I was told, so we'll wait and see.
All right, so let's switch on over here. Qualifying is underway. It looks like currently Sobel sits on the pole with a 52.15. And it looks
We
like...
still have 5 drivers who have not set a time yet.
Yep, and we've got Stephen Hutchinson here. Looks like he's on a qualifying lap here, so we'll ride along with him. Looks like he's on his warm-up lap. He's hugging the wall there, running that high line on his first lap out. That's the trick here. If you want to set a good qualifying time, builds up your top speed for that second lap, which you'll hug the bottom like he's doing right here going into turn 1.
Yeah, we could see him possibly the top 5 here.
Looks like Matt Henry just crossed the line. Well, he was in second, but Steve Singer just knocked him out of second place. So let's ride along with Steven here as he finishes his second lap here. Looks like he touched the apron just a little bit there, but it didn't mess him up.
It may slow him down just enough, though.
Ooh, I don't like what I'm seeing here. I do believe going down there is actually slower, going below the yellow line there across the finish line. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, it does shave a little bit of time off here at Daytona.
Yeah, some of the mile-and-a-half tracks, you do get a little bit of an advantage going below the yellow line on the apron like that, but not at Daytona. You want to stay right on that yellow line.
I seem to recall back in the day, though, it was quicker to go below that yellow line. I don't know if I'm wrong or if it changed at some point.
All right, looks like we got Hunter Clark here, who's still setting a qualifying time. We got about 5 minutes left of qualifying. Looks like he's on his out lap. So let's talk about fuel strategy. So it's 30 laps. I believe they are running 50% fuel. So that should make it fuel run about between 16, 18, 19 laps.
Yeah, my early calculations, I took off and completed 1 lap, so it's not going to be a good estimate, but somewhere between 18 to 20, I believe.
So we're guaranteed at least one stop. Um, you know, even if there are a few cautions, it's going to be hard to do this without pitting. So far, our friend Joshua Sobel has the pole position. And looks like Paul crossed the line there 7th. And we've got Joshua Funkhauser here on his fast lap.
Looks like Hunter Clark is coming around to set his second and final lap.
Yep, so let's ride along with him. He's hugging that yellow line very well. You know, you can touch it, but it's risky because if you get on that get down on that apron too much, that can throw you off. Anytime you have to, you know, move the steering wheel for a correction here, that you're shaving time off. So you want to keep that steering wheel, you know, as steady as possible. And it looks like Clark
he landed a fourth.
Fourth place, yeah. Let's go back to Funkhauser here. He's coming around for, I believe that was his first lap. Yep, that put him in 7th, so let's see what he can do on his second lap here. It's a bit higher up the track than most, but he did come down there. And I believe
I was a little worried that he wouldn't have enough time, but he still has a minute, so he is going to make it back to the line.
Yep, and he is the last qualifier. So this will finish out qualifying right here. Didn't improve on his time, so still 7th. All right, so we got about a minute until the grid, so we're going to go to just a quick commercial break here. We're going to show the promo video for the upcoming Season 3. And we're back. It's a nice little promo video there for Season 3, which is, of course, just a reminder for everybody that's just tuned in. This is the mini Season 1, which is the first of 2 mini seasons to qualify into Season 3. of the iRacing iROC Challenge Series that has a new title sponsor, Spartan Logistics Management. So we welcome them aboard. And it looks like our drivers are gridding up, so we'll go through the grid order here. All right, so it looks like on pole, we've got Joshua Sobel, starting second, Steve Singer. Third place, we've got Matt Henry. Fourth, we've got Hunter Clark. In fifth, we've got Tony Serbo. And sixth place, Stephen Hutchinson.
7th place is Joshua Funkhauser. 8th, Tim Ripley. 9th, Paul Buzzle. 10th, Doug Thomas. 11th, Matthew Brower. 12th, I don't know how to pronounce the first name, Hendrickson. 13th, Dakota Clark. And 14th, Chris Wally. Chris Wally is not on the track, is he?
I do not think so. I think he's just going to admin this race. I don't think he's actually going to run with him. But I did want to talk about Mr. Sobel here, who we're currently focused in on. It looks like in the chat, he mentions that he set his pole lap on his out lap, which is very interesting.
And it's quite impressive. Wonder, we might have to go back and review that.
It's impressive. But we did see at least one other driver that failed to improve on their second lap. So I'm wondering if there's not that much of a difference between first and second lap in the trucks, versus the Cup cars or, the Nationwide cars or Xfinity Series cars now.
Could be true. I do not have a lot of experience in the trucks from the recent updates. Several years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I used to race the trucks, but I haven't touched them since then.
Yes, season 3 is going to be a new experience for me as well. Don't have a lot of experience in the trucks, but to be honest, I'm a little tired of the ARCA car, so I welcome the change. All right, we're coming around here, about ready to go green. I do believe the first starts are always on the green flag, and any restarts after that will be at the leader's discretion. And we're off.
It's going to be interesting to see what some of the strategies here are going to be. The question is, one, do you want to be a leader? Do you not want to be the leader? Do you want to hang back? Do you think a big one's going to happen? There's only, 13 cars on the track, so the possibility for a big wreck is reduced, but we may still see some people hang out in the back just to save fuel.
That's true, and with a small field like this with only 13 drivers on the track, it's possible it just stays one pack. So hanging out in the back might not be a bad strategy for saving fuel. Where you'll run into problems, though, is if it splits into 2 packs and then stays green the entire time. So a bit of a gamble.
The problem for the leader is, since this is a 30-lap race, he's going to be up there with his foot to the floor. He's going to be using fuel, meaning he's going to have to dive down into the pits earlier, which will allow the rest of the pack that's been riding behind him to part throttle. They can stay out another lap and potentially build a little bit of gap on him when he comes out.
It's true. And one thing I want to pay attention here, since we've mentioned we don't have a lot of experience in the trucks, is how well that outside line does. We've seen in the other cars, especially the Cup cars and the ARCA cars, that outside line is the dominant line, especially when you've got a couple 2-3 cars that can bump draft really well. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and it just dawned on me that now that we're not racing the ARCA cars anymore, we can kind of talk about some of the secrets that we excuse me, I didn't mean to say secrets.
Yeah. You can't give those away. We may have to race that car again.
So it looks like for the most part they're staying too wide all the way back.
Oh, we got Paul Buzzle making it 3 wide here, coming up the middle. Now that is it's a risky move here, with
That
only
is a
3 laps
bold
in.
strategy.
Yep. I mean, it can be done, if every driver can hold their line. But all it takes is just one person not to. There, they bump a little bit. But it looks like everybody's staying clean. And he
And we
made
did
that
have a
work.
pass for the lead.
And you're right, we did have a pass for the lead. Looks like Steve Singer there made that pass there.
If I were Joshua Sobel and I just got, whoa, was that a pass below the yellow line?
Oh, and we've got a wreck. We've got a spin. Looks like 2 cars caught up there. One of them was Joshua Sobel. The other one was, I believe, Hunter Clark. Yep.
And it's staying green, is
Staying
it not?
green.
So we are running iRacing cautions and not admin caution.
Yes, that is correct. So iRacing is throwing the flag. It did not throw a caution there, which is strange. It was more than one car involved, but they both went off the racing line pretty quickly. So I guess it chose not to throw the caution. But there is one quick repair. So these guys that just got involved in that accident, their race isn't over. We're more than likely going to have a yellow. And I believe Lucky Dogs are on if they end up, going a lap down. But they'll be able to go in the pits, get their quick repair, and be right back up in it.
Oh, yeah, we might have one here, and we will.
Yep, that is the big one. It looks like half the field there involved in that one.
I'm going to venture out and say that some quick repairs may be used right here.
Yeah. So let's see if we can go back and take a look at what the cause of that one was.
Hey, do you want to look at the first caution first, and then look at the second one? I mean, not the first caution, but the first wreck.
Oh, not sure where that was. That was... Here, let's see. So we'll go back and we'll look at Paul Buzzle here in that first wreck. No, this is that wreck right here. Yep. Rewind it there. So, it's our boy Paul trying to make it 3 wide again. Just clips that car on the outside there, and it's just a chain reaction from there. So let's ride on board with Paul here. He sees that gap, but it just, it wasn't there, was it? And our buddy Neil Quick just commented a crash that he wasn't involved in. And I believe, Neil, that's because one of either myself or Brian's not behind you.
Now, I've only wrecked one person, was it? But I believe your count was a much higher.
Yes, but mine was never for the win. Which might make it worse now that I said that out loud. But anyway, so we are under yellow here, which is good news for the ones that were involved in that very early wreck. They can, catch back up to the pack, take their quick repair, and we've got 24 to go. So I believe that is not going to be... That's too many laps to go make it on fuel the rest of the way, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to make it on fuel if it goes green.
And I'm not sure what we've got going on here, but it looks like Matt Henry just wrecked under caution. I can take a look at that. Oh, we got a car just run right through him there.
Yeah, Hendrickson. I believe Hendrickson should probably be removed from the server.
Is that Hendrickson or Hunter Clark?
You know, it's kind of weird because his car disconnected right after that. I wonder if he was having some type of technical issues.
Yeah, yeah, he did disconnect right after. That's why we can't go back and find it there.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he was having computer issues, but yeah, he just drove right through the field and then immediately disconnected.
Well, that is definitely interesting. So actually, we've after all of that, Doug Thomas is our leader, and it looks like he has quite a bit of damage. I believe he chose not to take his quick repair.
And a message just popped up that his throughput level fell to an unacceptable level. So I watched from his in-car camera, and he wasn't aiming for anybody. I do believe that was a technical issue.
It definitely stinks for Matt Henry, who was unfortunately leading the race. Did nothing wrong there, and I got taken out. But like I said, there is a fast repair. He can get back up and be competitive.
And Doug Thomas did also get damage from that.
So it looks like our top five, we've got Doug Thomas, Dakota Clark, Hunter Clark. I wonder if there's any relation there. Matthew Brower and Tony Serbo. Looks like one to go until we go to green.
Hendrickson did rejoin the server.
All right. And we're coming to the green flag here. Leader can choose, and we're underway.
The car on the outside of the line does have damage, so it looks like he's very slow and holding the whole outside line up.
Yeah, I was a little nervous there with that. You just never know how much damage, how slow they're going to be, how patient the drivers are going to be behind them. But it looks like everybody made it through pretty clean. So, and we're mostly single file.
Yeah, that was a good job on everybody's part there.
So it looks like Paul Buzzle's going to jump out there to the outside, and he's got somebody there with him, the number 71 Ripley. See if we can get some two wide racing going.
Wish has come true.
Yep, we've got 3 cars there on that outside line. Looks like everybody's kind of settled down. I don't see any 3 wide action going on, which is good. We've got plenty of laps to go.
It looks like the outside line is working very well.
Yep, Paul's able to come down there and take over the lead. He dropped to the inside there.
He did have a lot of help from, cannot see the number on that car.
I believe that's number 71, Tim Ripley, who was pushing Paul there. So we'll see. That outside line only has 2 cars now. Typically need 3 to make it work, and it looks like 71 there did drop down to the bottom. So unfortunately, whoever's on the outside there, Funkhauser's, might be left out to dry. Unless he can get a partner up there and start bump drafting.
That number 71 truck has a pretty slick paint job.
Yeah, it's nice and chrome there. I think you like chrome paint jobs.
I typically don't like chrome, but I think he made that one work. Looks like lap traffic did go down on the apron. I believe that was Doug Thomas.
That always makes things easier here. I tell you, when you're leading the race, you're running too wide, coming up on lap traffic. One, you never know which lane they're gonna go. You know, you can come on the radio and you can tell them which lane that you want, or you can tell them where to go, but it doesn't always mean they're gonna follow instructions. And then the second thing, once they do pick a lane, are they gonna hold it? And then third, if you're too wide, that means you've got to squeeze 3 wide there for a little bit, and that can be very nerve-wracking. It's usually where we see a lot of accidents happen.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Doug, he was one of the ones that was hit by that car having technical issues.
Yeah, it looks like we have 3 drivers that are currently 1 lap down.
3 wide. Now they went back to 2.
So I believe we went green with 22 laps to go. That's going to be awfully close on the fuel run. I still think if we go green the entire way, I think we're going to see some green flag pit stops, which will definitely shank things up a bit. You know, fuel strategy is going to come into play. If we have a couple more cautions, which is, you know, very likely, I think they can probably make it. Everything's pretty standard here. Still 2 wide. Paul Buzzle's still maintaining the lead most of the lap there. Him and Bunkhauser are just swapping spots in the turns there. But that outside line is... it's got 3 people now. And it's hanging in there. I believe that outside line is the line to be in when it, you know, comes to 1 to go.
Yeah, the action that we've seen so far, it kind of makes me interested in seeing what happens when, you know, it's 2 to go.
We're not seeing an awful lot of bump drafting, which makes sense. You know, we're early in the race. I'm not sure what tape configuration they're running, but generally on a super speedway, you've got to be mindful of how many laps you can go right up on someone's bumper before your oil temps get too high. So that comes into play. Sometimes, depending on the tape configuration, you know, you and your drafting partner have got to time it right so you can, you know, make the most of that last lap. Oh, and we've got contact. Looks like Paul Buzzle came up into the number 7 there. Looks like we're going to stay green.
I believe I saw 3 cars get collected in that.
Yeah, but it looks like they were all able to keep going.
There were some with heavy damage, though.
Yeah, I believe Steve Singer caught the worst of that there. Looks like he's definitely got engine damage. He had damage before, so... but now he's definitely have damage. So here's what I was talking about. We've now got 2 packs, which is what you don't want if you are hanging out in the back.
And those guys that were either a lap down or had a little bit of damage, they were really hoping for another caution, and that was their opportunity there, and iRacing did not throw that yellow, so that's going to really hurt their race. With everyone spread out now, I don't think another caution is going to come out, or I don't think their chances are good.
No, I believe you're right there. I believe we're going to have a 3-truck battle here for the finish. Hutchinson is about 5 seconds behind, but unfortunately does not have anyone to draft with, so we can expect this to just be these 3 cars right here for the remainder of the race, unless a yellow comes out.
Yeah, there will still have to be a pit stop, we believe.
depending on how close it is, we could see maybe some fuel strategy. If it's only, you know, 1 lap shy, which I believe in our calculations it might be, some fuel saving might be quicker than actually going in under green.
We want to take a moment and go over our sponsors.
Sure. So let's go back to this just to talk about season 3 again. It's sponsored by Spartan Logistics Management. And this is the first race in the first mini season. And there are 2 mini seasons. And the top 5 of each mini season will qualify their way into season 3 to race along the top 15 finishers of season 2. And we've definitely got some interesting races coming up. I'm pretty excited to see Eldora. And anytime you get these trucks on dirt, it's a fun time.
So Stephen Hutchinson did go into the pits. I believe I'm showing him 1 lap down, but he may have fuel, meaning that he could be in contention to win this.
It's true.
If the leaders have to come in and pit and they can't get back out before him.
I'm noticing the second place car there, Matthew Brower, does have some rear end damage, but he is able to keep up with these guys here in the draft, so I don't believe it's impacting him that much. May impact his chances to win. And we've got some questions in the chat here. Just to clarify everything, the race was set for iRacing to throw the cautions. Just like it would in an official race, there's no real person admin. It's all part of the game. The game decides when it's going to throw the yellow and when it's not. And unfortunately, there we had at least a couple incidences that were more than one car, and iRacing did not throw the caution.
And the iRacing cautions is only for the mini series. I believe when we go back to season 3, it will be a race control caution.
Yeah, and I believe personally much prefer that because we've seen today, iRacing is sometimes very inconsistent. You know, things that should be a caution, it doesn't necessarily throw the yellow, and then sometimes there's a single car spin and it doesn't even spin out all the way, and we are coming into the pit, so we were right on the fuel strategy here. All 3 leaders have come into the pits, but Hutchinson, as you remember, he pitted a few laps earlier, so he should be good to go all the way to the green. So it'll be interesting to see where these guys come out.
I hope the guys that just came in remember to turn their tires off. And
That is true. I guess we can talk about that. A lot of people don't know on a super speedway that you do not need to take tires. Especially under green. Do not take tires, just take fuel.
another thing that plays in here, the trucks are only 50% fuel capacity, so the pit stop is a little bit quicker, or that not taking tires helps out a whole lot more.
Yep, good point, good point. All right, so it looks like our leaders have come back out onto the track here. And let's see if we can see where they are in relation. So number 24 is Hutchinson, and he's in 5th place. So quite a ways back there.
Unfortunately, on my screen, I'm not able to tell who pitted when, but I'm looking at the top 5, and that would be a good information to know to see do they still have enough fuel to make it to the end. Kevin, do you have that on your screen?
Yeah, so the top 2 here, they both pitted on lap 22. Hunter Clark, who's in 3rd, pitted on lap 16. Tony Serbo pitted on lap 16, and Stephen Hutchinson pitted on lap 18. So I do believe out of those, let's see, Clark, Serbo, and yeah, those 2 may have to pit again.
And we're coming up on 6 to go.
So what's the strategy here? Walk me through, Brian. You're in 2nd place here. You've got a 2-car pack here, 6 to go. What do you do? And you know you've got a little bit of damage.
Yeah, you're going to ride behind the leader and pick your moment to when to try to pass, and hope the guy in 3rd place doesn't mess you up.
And we've seen the side draft is very powerful. So when you've got 2 cars like this, it's usually very easy for the 2nd place car to, you know, slingshot 1st place and use that side draft on the last lap to get out ahead. But that 2nd place car, number 98, he does have some slight aero damage, so I don't know how much that's going to come into play.
So if you were the leader, what would you do here?
Oh, I would, you know, try to guess when he's going to make his move. Generally, you see the move happen late on the back straight going into turn 3. And I would just have my eyes glued on that rearview mirror and try to block, you know, as best I could. Maybe even take the outside line going into 3. I know it's risky, but we've seen that outside line be faster. So you definitely want to make him go as high as possible to go around you. That's definitely going to be key.
In the ARCA cars, I know protecting that outside line is definitely a strategy that you can go with. The trucks, I'm not so sure about. We'll have to see how it plays out here.
It looks like we do have a lap car there. Number 19, Henry, is with this lead pack here. So that's another thing you've got to be careful of. We've been in that situation before with the league organizer where he was a lap down in an R3 car pack and we were fighting for the win. So you never know if they're going to be in the way, you know, you just never know. Or if they're going to help that 2nd place car, you know, push them on by. But it is nice to see Paul Bozzle up here running up front. He ran season 2 with us, and he had some good races. Really strong at the short tracks. So it's good to see him running up front here, and he may come away with a win here in this first race.
Matt Henry as well. I know Matt Henry ran some races in the beginning of season 2. I don't think he ran many towards the end.
Yeah, he was definitely a top contender there in the beginning of the season, and then I think he missed out on a few races. So it looks like we're coming 2 to go. So this next lap will be 1 to go, and that's when we should see some action.
Yeah, and I've been watching Matt Henry. He's really trying to gauge that outside line and possibly even trying to set up a strategy where he keeps that second place truck on the inside so he can try to get that side draft to pass Buzzle for the win.
Well, that would work, but unfortunately Henry's lap down, so he's not in contention for the win.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, so out of this 3-car pack, we've got Buzzle and Brower there. They're going to fight for the win. So we've taken the white flag here. Let's see where he chooses to make his move.
He could still block him, you know. He could pull a Chris Wally.
It's true. So it looks like Brower's going to go ahead and claim that outside, and he's going to try to use that side draft here coming into turn 3. He's going to get as close as he can to Paul
I think they
there.
touched.
I believe they did touch a little bit, but so far we're clean, and
This is going to be a photo finish.
it's going to be a drag race to the end here. And
he
they
hit
make
some
contact, and I believe Paul Buzzle just barely beats him to the line there.
Yeah, that was a pretty good finish there.
And I do believe if he didn't touch him there at the end, he might have lost that race. So that might have just saved him there.
Yeah, I hate to see the cautions work out the way they did, but we did have some exciting finish there.
Yep, and we've got a little battle here for 6th place. Oh, and we've got some wrecking. It looks like the number 6 car is going to come out ahead of that there and claim 6th place there. So, rounding out your race here, we got Paul Buzzle coming in first. We've got Brower in second, Serbo in third, Clark fourth, and Hutchinson fifth, rounding out your top 5 there. We've got Paul here doing some donuts there in the grass, celebrating his win.
I don't have the standings from season 2, but would this be his first win? I believe it is.
Yes, I believe that's correct. I believe you about won all of the races, or at least half.
Do we know if Buzzle raced in season 1?
I do not know that. But
either way, I'm sure he's excited for taking this first win of the mini season.
yes, so let's talk about what's coming up here. So next week, we go to Atlanta for 50 laps. And keep in mind, this is they're scoring points through this entire mini season here, so it's the top 5 once we finish up in Martinsville there that will qualify their way into season 3, and then we'll do it all over again for the second mini season and give 5 other people a chance to qualify in. Oh, that was it's a very interesting race. I hate that we had a couple people there get taken out early in the race. Joshua Sobel was definitely the person to watch there. Unfortunately, got caught up in that very early incident and no caution. But nonetheless, excited to see Paul in the taking the win there. I know he's been gunning for one for quite a while, so it's good to see him take a win.
Yeah, I think he's came quite close a few times in season 2 on short tracks where he's really strong at, and even here at Daytona, he proved to be strong. It's a shame that we don't have interviews set up. We should probably get that set up for the next few races. That way we can talk to him after the race.
Definitely. It would be. It's always interesting to hear their perspective after the race, their strategy. You know, Brower, he definitely picked the cookie cutter strategy there, I call it, on the back straight. Go up high, try to use that side draft. Unfortunately, I think that aero damage did hold him back from being able to make that pass, but good racing
Yeah,
nonetheless.
definitely. If we can see the damage from here, you know it's affecting them.
That's true. That's true. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for coming out, watching it with us tonight. We'll be back next week, Thursday, for 50 laps at Atlanta. And